it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art her.
Oh, what's up, baby?
Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge one is when the run and bass drop. I rose up, took a shower, purified my arc field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown sharp, report and hill. Pound the pavement, sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child. Rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path, simple, highest form, spiritualities, how you teach math, a humble beast and still a beast. Now feel the beast wrath, rain fire upon them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that wore them. Destroy this de facto government and its forums, establish Big Mom's house so she may restore him. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day ways the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge born is when rhyme and bass drop. The next host, note to self, quit playing, hit the gas. This shaft is called my turn, take the risk, it's fast. Most of them got fascinated with chips in their ass, plus rappers sacrificing each other for grits in their cash. Sad can't watch videos without the subliminals, predictive programming, weirdo sprung menstrual shows. The land's contaminated, fruits and vegetables, black minerals, the water and skies are fried. Nuclear chemicals, technology got me here in front of my desktop, perusing these beasts and whatnot for my best option, contemplating which bar will next spot to unlock the minds that are stuck within a Xbox off the chart. I continue to climb, watching the rest flop like carp fishing, 100% fresh shark water. I'm on the front line, X marks the spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best part. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, ways the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes. Marks once we make knowledge one is when the run and bass drops. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the great matriarch. Honor and respect to our ancestors. Jah, you've always had a father, the author of your flow, for show fire starter, the cause of your glow. But the trail I've blazed, I pray you turn from it. The hell I've raised, I pray you don't burn from it. The work I put in, I pray that you earn from it. The mistakes I've made, I pray that you learn from it. You my splitting image, little darker, little taller. I'm a shot caller, though you just a little baller. Latif, I'm still teaching you like he got yang. My healing, reaching you despite me lock and chain. Black, you speaking true, you ignite lots of pain. I feel the releasing of lightning and drops of rain from the sound cloud. You shine like me, the crown's proud. But unlike me, shine, you haven't turned down out a smoke screen which surrounds you, shrouds your sound. My shout allow your genius to astound the crowd. You my beloved, you scintillate profusely. You my beloved, you resent fate foolishly. You my beloved, do ventilate truthfully. You my beloved son, and who I'm well pleased. Okay, shall we? Your vision is Resplendent my descending when filming your intuition extends. The lenses felt when your cinematographic flashes of your scripted class get your inner magic. Dramatic action mixed with vivid aspects mastered surpasses the average glass, stretches the facet through the scope of life's Kodak UC classic. The question you have is mathematics, please ask it. Son, Earth's a classroom, so put your hand up. And last boom, you already knew the answer. I pray to God to give me another chance for the love of my life, my wife, just to romance her. In the misconception, no time for second guessing. It's destined you knew who was who through a reflection that she showed you of me many years ago. Special features presentation appears to show you my beloved. You scintillate profusely, you my beloved. You resent fate foolishly, you my beloved. Do ventilate truthfully, you my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Now Samuel, I am your found for show that the signal is a scramble or be programmable. From a look up to a lion, not of my bloodline. Don't give a damn, though love you as if you was mine. I'll be the first. Forgive me for my absence. The Most High sat me down to learn patience through abstinence. Amongst other lessons, perfect my craft and talents. Balance of our legacy in the Black Hawk's talents. Face adversity, overcome all challenges. Generational wealth for the next generation to us. Can't make the same mistakes of past since instead. Let's create an after we've cried, relaunches type of atmosphere. Redirected fire, recalibrate the energy to propel us higher. As sovereign, opulent, autocratus, Nijis, I look at all three of my sons. On God, I see me. You my beloved. You scintillate profuse. You my beloved. You resent fate foolishly. You my beloved. Do ventilate truthfully, you my beloved sons in whom I'm well pleased. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This is a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling immense pressure. Some store each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors. Liberians to traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traitors. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. Why expect more from those who want to conquest except war? They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Bush, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot the sheriff meaning. Shove my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flare, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this canonical. If your brain's deeply manical, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, Big Brother, and his clique. Put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band cool. Together. Play and the devil just stand the weather. Sound strong, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure, turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. I'm in my own zone. Within my own home. I'm in my own throne. My own skin, no clone. On long going in for the wind, ozone, 10 toes strong, closed doors are opening, siphoning, my own tone, microphoning, my own song, on my own right and my own wrong. My own masters, have my own master, and that to my own loan. I'm in my own zone, within my own home. I'm in my own throne, my own skin, no clone. I'm in my own zone, from the hip to the thigh bone, from the lip to the microphone. I'm like a disciple stone, yet much larger than this flesh.
In my music, and in a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution styles too late when apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled out. It's a pressure that's touching the floor. I'm starting to feel it. I'm a message with pocket, I'm feeling calm. Bad mother, I know this. Who sits at the pinnacle? Who judges the hypocrite? Who sends it with the critical sin? I'm thinking it's critical. I'm just willing it with the actions of the pretending service. People want the black flag and kill this stuff. They got still. I'm here of all citizens who haven't took a stand. All the meals too late when the taps get danced. Don't believe Jesus Christ. From here to Oklahoma, you gotta act the wrong. Gotta gas the dome when the sun is on. All day and I'll let you be sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I fight. From above, I'll be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn tonight. We gon' put it off, so gon' pass the hype. No way, drop the oppressor. Me no surrender. 3 pound pressure. No way, drop the oppressor. Me no surrender. 3 pound pressure. No way, drop the oppressor. Me no surrender. 3 pound pressure. No way, drop the oppressor. Me no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Step, step, step. Crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like nobody ever stopped.
What is going on? This thing on the scroll. Oh, Mac, what's going on, Sloop, brother? Baby girl Slaughter. Hey, you in here today? What's up, mama? Hey, how you doing? Dad, what's going on? Grand Ascension, everybody. Gabriel, whatever that shit. What's going on, Agadoy? DL, what's going on? What's going on, God? T, I got you over here, family. Ben J, whatever that shit. What's going on, beloved? Yeah, it's good to see. Hey, Sharon, what's going on, mama? How you doing? Yay. It's good to have you up in here. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about something. Hopefully, it makes sense. But we gotta head to Benson, man. I had to give somebody. I had to give somebody else help somebody else out who needed some help. Funny that I don't care if they're grateful or ungrateful. Like I said, if I have it and I know that somebody needs it, one, she always gets. But it kind of put a dent on me, you know what I mean? So I'm attempting to do everything good on here. So, Y'all saw that one video I shared with y'all. I said I thought it was important because you know the parties to be they're diabolical. I don't want to get into a long dragged out thing. You see what the thumbnail is, but they just have an app. They don't follow anything other than what they're ascribed or what they prescribe, and that's pretty pathetic. But they're not smart. That's all I can say. They're not. If they were really intelligent, they would have foregone all the censor, all that the dumb stuff that they do. But you got to remember, when you think that you have a master plan and that you're going to be successful, not knowing the real side, the real downside of what's happening, they're going to put the people they've convinced, the loyalists or whatever you want to call them. I call them fractured. So that video I did yesterday, right? It was solid. Calling somebody fake, it can be opinionated. But I back it up with facts and relevant facts. So, you know, it probably troubles the people who create ads, whatever. I don't really care. You're not going to hide in your world of deception and lies because I call somebody a fake, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like saying the word out of my mouth because it's so, it tastes nasty when you put something that's a lie on it. Anywho, I wanted to read something because I remember a few years ago I guess it was my third year living in Page from the res. 1921. Yeah, like 2022, something like that. And I was watching this video, I think it was Washington, D.C., and some brothers were being accosted. And they had a Chinese guy that couldn't even speak English. And it was one in Florida. Now, I wanted to read something. Okay, I wanted to read something here. Okay. I gotta pull it up because I got quite a few up here. Make sure I got the one, a couple of tabs. See, are y'all aware? Between 2016 up to was recently 2024, as far as all states. Well, in California, let me make sure I pull the right stuff. Read the right one. I don't want to just, California. All right, 2033, but it goes back before that. California passed a law that allows illegal aliens and non-citizens to become police officers. Now, they're agents over in TikTok, and they're putting out false information. Some will say they're bots. No, these are individuals. And they're talking about law, about sovereignty, this, that, and other. And obviously, they probably work for the WHO, APAC, or whatever, right? And the UN, right? And they're telling people false laws. You have the right, and you can pull it up by the Supreme Court to travel. You're not required to have a driver's license, nor all that other stuff. The DMV works off of what you pay. Okay? Just like everybody's angry because the tax has been funding wars. This is what they do. All right? And not the homeless, not the drug addicts, and this, that, and the other. They like to see more corrupt individuals. And how do you do that? You have a network with a caste system. But California passes a law that allows illegal aliens and non-citizens to become police officers. It goes back before that. Okay? They're struggling to recruit people for their academies. So they felt like, why would we restrict people that otherwise meet all of our requirements from being able to serve their communities in this way? That's outside of your civil liberties, rights. Now, what's funny about civil liberties, civil rights, that was actually created for the melanated, amalgamated man. All right? When Martin said, and we find it Negro language in his own society, right? His own land. Malcolm X came back and says, you and I are Aborigines. They don't even want to have that discussion. They like the fact that they have enough groomed individuals who are lost in it. Okay? But California Senate Bill 960, I remember when they were talking about it, now allows anyone who is legally able to work, you got that work permit, you can go join it too, work in the United States regardless of their nationality and citizenship. Non-registered citizens of the United States can now get officially hired as police officers in the state of California. That has moved over. Why do I say that? Well, over here, it says states. Now, this is 2024. This is February 25th, 2024. States push bills to allow illegal aliens to become police officers. Now, the disturbing trend by states toward allowing illegal, because a lot of them doing it, illegal aliens to become law enforcement officers has continued this legislative session. While it is not surprising that open border states like California, Colorado, Illinois have passed laws to permit illegal aliens to become law, and you should look at what's happening if you look at the police departments. I just shared that video with the brother being pulled out of the police car by a couple of, you know who they are. How about Texas? When you're dealing with the correctional office, you know, all these Africans, Nigerians, this, that, and other, and they're very disrespectful. I don't even want to get into New York with people from Sweden, Holland, blah, blah, blah. I mean, right now they say Finland's the most happiest place to live, the most satanic. But anyway, right? But why is it that nobody knows this? And how did the Chinese get to have 2 different police departments? We're not even talking about the Jews in a certain part of Brooklyn having their own police department. Yet you still see a lot. You see, when I was coming up in the 60s, there were no Mexicans on the East Coast. My brother in Mexico, yeah. Maybe ex-military, playing white, whatever. Y'all fought for that to be considered white. You know that, right? But anyway, right? Well, y'all ain't growing up nowhere over the East Coast. But here the police all over, especially down in Florida, which is the most absurd with these Cuban idiots, Dominican idiots. And I'm talking about people who are Americanized. Some of them, green card, work card ID. And a lot of people don't even know about that because they always hear about people going to Russia and China and they get these visas and these work here too, for those unknowing. What am I talking about? Well, if we go over to Pew Research Center, 10 things we know about race and policing in the United States. When you look back at the days of George Floyd, right? Protests across the United States in the wake of George Floyd's death in the custody of Minneapolis police have brought new attention to questions about police officers' attitudes towards Black Americans. Why are these idiots still running around calling themselves black? Y'all, I'm start seeing y'all beneath me because y'all just don't want to get it together. Anyway, excuse me. Protesters and others. All right, towards Black American protesters. This is the police officers' attitudes towards Black Americans, protesters, and others. And you know what plays a big role in that? These groups created, paid for by the George Soros. He's not the only one. Schumer, Bloomberg, they're behind a lot of this too. Y'all need to look into that, okay? And you have these ignorant pale skins, and some of them first and second generation born here. They get in the police department, and they buy into this narrative and this false education system. This was created for a reason. But in here it says the public's view of the police in turn are also in the spotlight. Here's a roundup of Pew Research Center surveys, survey findings from the past few years about the interactions and intersections of race and law enforcement. Most of the findings in this post were drawn from 2 previous Pew Research Center reports, one on police officers and policing issues, because how they're being trained is not indicative to the Constitution and Bill of Rights of what their job was supposed to be. Ergo, I forget how many years ago, the challenge to the Supreme Court when they came up with a ruling that police are not there, and they're not there to protect and serve. That's based on that goofy union and their law, which you call it. Reason why the fake court system gave them impunity. What do you call that stuff? Stuff they get so if they mess up? What is that stuff called, guys? You know, I'm not big on a lot of that crap they do. You know what I'm saying? But they gave them so where they have immunity, qualified immunity, whatever it's called, which is bogus, because they're supposed to be a sacrifice. That job's supposed to come with a lot of pressure and everything for them to actually do proper policing, not enforcing policies and all those goofy things that are dished out every week by fraudulent individuals in the court system. They're supposed to be out there protecting and saving. And now there's still good policing. There's still good police officers out there. But the majority, no. There's no way that you can further educate and make people who say they want to be American, the all-American dream, and then put them, and who would want to put them against the original inhabitants? Well, if they have an ignorant consortium, it's easy to manipulate them. Isn't that MK Ultra? And this is by design. But why would you give up morals to go into a position And then to go out there holding guns on little 6-year-old babies, shooting 15-year-olds in the bed, sleep, and all that. And then I'm SWAT. I train so hard, and I'm running around with a team looking like a bunch of ignoramuses. All this stuff plays out. That's good, guys. But the problem is, when you're a good guy and you allow people to do bad things, and thank goodness there's a lot of cops who've gotten off the force because of them. We're talking about a lot. And they're calling it out. But the ones that stay on it, these are the sick individuals. I don't have to call them bees and this, that, and other, who really don't need to be there. Now, is that divide being created so when something goes down, they can have that institution of ignorance to be utilized against the population, feeling they'll be safe? Probably so. Everything is by design. Think about your cousins and this, that, other, right, who probably want to save you off or probably don't care about you. But anyway, let's finish reading this before any more of my opinions. And one of the state of race relations in the United States. And we're going to tap on that and read that right quick. But this is published in April 2019. We also drew from a September 2016 report on how Black and white Americans view police. So let's have a look at the state of race relations in the United States. Race in America 2019. This is the dumbest thing to hear, race and ethnicity. Anyway. Public has negative views of the country's racial progress. More than half say Trump has made race-related relations worse. Trump had nothing to do with that. That's just the individuals. That's APEC. That's how they do what they do. We can further look at, excuse me, guys. Amid national reckoning, Americans divided on whether increased focus on race will lead to major policy change. Well, you see what's going on. They reversed that ruling about the so-called black, like Robinson and all smoking, what's called Robinson the boxer and all those who served in the military. Because you saw what he's talking about, Trump's cabinet. Trump had nothing to do with that. Removing black soldiers who've done magnificent things. That's ADL. That's the APAC individuals. Y'all really need to pay attention to what's going on and stop feeding into everything the worthless media and the CIA and the Mossad, whatever you want to call them, put out there. Y'all really, and so they reversed that. Distractions. But anyway, more than 150 years after the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, bullshit, in the United States, most U.S. adults say the legacy of slavery continues to have an impact on the position of black people in American society today. They were POWs on their land. This is what APAC, this is what them frauds do. And how come nobody pays attention? Like the story they've been telling of Hitler in Germany has been a lie from its inception. You know what I mean? Here we are about 100 years later, and you're seeing it for what it is. Anyway, impact on the position of black people in American society today. More than 4 in 10 say the country hasn't made enough progress towards racial equality. And there is some skepticism, particularly among blacks. You calling yourself black, you're an idiot. That black people will ever have equal rights with whites, according to a new research center survey. Just like the fake feds can go and stop certain things, drugs coming in, just like that. Snatch up drug dealers, people who are threatened and everything else. And then they let stuff go, and it's always with this, we're building up a case. First of all, any of this could be in a heartbeat. Look at the 60s. Look at Selma. Look, in a heartbeat. Change it. It's because they're sick and they don't want to. They need the division. They need you blinded with this adherence to, and always looking for a handout. That's why I can't stand NAACP and all that should be dismantled. Southern, which called coalition, every one of them should be dismantled. These fake churches with these Negroes, and not no new religion. It needs to be dismantled, gotten rid of, because it's creating more purgatory and more perversions. Anyway, opinions about the current state of race relations and President Donald Trump's handling of the issue are also negative. About 6 in 10 Americans, 58%, say race relations in the U.S. are bad, and of those, few see them improving. Some 56% think the president has made race relations worse. It ain't nothing to do with him. It's you individuals. It's some goofy pale skins that run around with the fake white power stupidity, and these melanated individuals like y'all, like a lot of y'all buying the music and Hollywood and all that. That's a lot of it's an act. Eartha Kitt, all that what she went through. You see, she died in Hollywood and still loving it. Sammy Davis, all the big talking. He died, you know. Richard Pryor. It's a big act, but y'all buy into it, and you therefore, ergo, you give energy to it because it's the easiest thing to do, isn't it? All right. It's nothing to do with Trump, nothing to do with Biden. We already know he was an ignoramus, and I don't even think this joker here is Biden. I think they put him up whenever he could say an alphabet right, but other times it's somebody with a mask on. CIA, old head, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, some 56% think the president has made race relations worse. Anyway, just 15%, and those are in liberal cities where they must be experimenting with the aerosol spraying in water and everything in the food or whatever people order something. They probably target certain groups because they get the same freaking reactions. Anyway, just 15% say he has improved race relations, and another 13% say he has tried but failed to make progress on this issue. In addition, roughly 2/3 say it's becoming more common for people to express racist views since Trump became president. That's not even 1% of 1%, y'all. I do my best when I look at these individuals with these different brands on their arm and boule and all this crap and the ankh tattooed on their neck. Black Power, the revolution will not televise. All these Negroes running around here talking about I hate America, I want to destroy America, but they right here who don't know no better, and the only thing they hate is because of the situation they've been brought into. As you will see, and another thing we'll look at is the policing in America. Why is it that melanated people, supposed to be 13% of the population, are hound upon 5% more than the 1% of light skins when they're creating the worst and more crimes than anything? No, even in the margin of 55 or 60 to 13%, it's still way more, even if we were balanced together, way more on this side. And that's statistics. Now, I don't even want to get into the Spanish side. You never hear with the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Colombians, da-da-da. Oh, my goodness, y'all. Oh, that list is off the chart. Why is it always white and black? When the majority is not that way. I deal with people in different, on here, subscribe to different people, black and Chinese married, white and black, for the crayon colored individuals to make you comfortable. I'm serious. And I'm talking about, and in the gay community, that's just a whole mixed up. I mean, are y'all aware of lesbians? Divorce rate is higher than regular male and, female relationships. I didn't want to get into the male and male ones. The reality is they manipulate y'all, and they got y'all out here giving energy to make it even worse. Okay? Is it a thing? Of course. Into the police department. Blacks are particularly gloomy about the country's racial progress. More than 8 in 10 black adults say the legacy of slavery affects the position of black people in America today. They don't even know that the majority of people enslaved were the pale skins. And they can't discern the POWs because they were given a fictional narrative of civil war, just like they are about everything else. The fact that nobody here, no pale skins won the Revolutionary War. We beat their behinds. We made treaties. They stayed on the land because we were peaceful and loving people. But you tell them with that fake whitewash history that when the most majority of them weren't even here. All right? Until the 1890s. Majority. Okay. You can't make this up. And they think they conquered. They ain't win. They ain't beat nobody. The only thing they did was blow up buildings while after all that warring and dying that we were doing. That's all they did. And they take our governing body and everything else because a lot of people are still here. And they intrusively radicalized, not ratified, took the Bill of Rights, twisted this Constitution of ours up, and then utilized it against us in the very embarkation for land. With the fake banks, 1913 and everything else, by the very same people that got people running around in crayon colors, fictional narratives, and everything else. And these damn police officers are just dumb as a box of rocks. Excuse me. affects the position of black people in America today, including 59% who say it affects it a great deal. About 8 in 10 blacks, 78%, say the country hasn't gone far enough when it comes to giving black people equal rights and whites. Yes, black people equal rights and whites, with whites. And fully half say it's unlikely that the country will eventually achieve racial equality. Now, Americans see disadvantages for blacks and Hispanics in the U.S. A majority of all adults, 56%, say being black hurts people's ability to get ahead at least a little. And 51% say the same about being Hispanic. In contrast, 59% saying being white helps people's ability to get ahead, and views about the impact of the Asian or Native American and about the impact of being Asian or Native American are more mixed. Reality is they got everybody playing against each other. How do you succeed at that? With a handful of individuals. It's amazing that some of us, we talk about this stuff for the betterment of all. And you still have the individuals, some have been through some things. Some have been nurtured since the crib. And that's hard. That's a hard case. You know what I mean? And then you think about those that have infiltrated the police department. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm not going to go back and read the other thing because I'm going to pull this one up. I think this one might be important as far as the view. Okay. Racial confidence gap in police performance. Now, the deep racial tensions, this is the same, okay? The deep racial tensions seen in many areas of American life underlie how blacks and whites view police in their communities, as well as their reactions to the deadly encounters in recent years between blacks and law enforcement officers. According to a new survey by Pew Research, now you got to remember now, excuse me, gas, yes, y'all. This is 2016 now, okay? Blacks are about half as likely as whites to have a positive view of the job their local police are doing. And you see that every day. You've got a number of ex-police officers, even ex-military police officers, some who retired, some who left the force because of the very thing we're talking about, who have hundreds, thousands of YouTube channels, who talk and they screen and they look at all the things that are going on, and it's just crazy. You can blame your local law enforcement, you can blame your local police chiefs and the sheriff's department especially, all right, and your local FBI. They play a major role in this, as well as your fake government, local in each state, and their bullshit constitution, because they have another one. They have another which called that they swear an oath to outside of the supreme rule of the land. The supreme law of the land is our constitution, nothing else. And you have this foreign interpretation, and those people brought here, dual citizens and even foreigners, running around for the fake CIA media because they don't want you saying nothing about them, who play a role in this functionality. I could be nice and sweet and clean it up, but this is just the way it is, okay? Using the right amount of force to, and they'll get offended and feel some kind of way, which, so what doesn't matter. Using the right amount of force for each situation. Blacks say 33%. Whites, 75% say yeah. Treating racial and ethnic groups equally. Well, some blacks, I guess, depending on the communities, believe 35% believes yes, and 75% of whites believe that's okay. Holding officers accountable when misconduct occurs, we know that's not the case. 31% of our people say yay, and then 70% up to 80% say yay on the white side. Now that's a Pew Research Center, 2016 and 15. Now only about a third of blacks, but roughly 3/4 of whites say police in their communities do an excellent or good job in using the appropriate force on suspects. Y'all seen them, the bootlickers, and some of them might be bots. I don't know. Plenty of racist, because y'all have seen the ones where they comment and they use dark humor, so it's passing where they don't get too much, but you'll see they put monkeys at the end, all this kind of stuff, bananas and all that, and they don't know that they're talking about the very selves. But regardless of that, when I hit a pitch rule of hate, half of them don't even know where they come from, sadly. Yeah, from us. Anyway, black and whites also differ over the root cause of the facial incidents between police and blacks. They don't come from Spanish. They don't come from Chinese. They come from seriously, man. Anyway, police and blacks in recent years, even before the recent lethal encounters between police and black men in Tulsa and Charlotte. Now, the survey found they only named 2 out of 100. Anyway, 1,000 really. The survey found that blacks are 25 percentage points more likely than whites to say that deaths of blacks during encounters with police in recent years are signs of a broader societal problem and not merely isolated incidents. That's a fact. And a social narrative, a social construct. At the same time, whites and blacks both see the complexity of the situation. Majorities of each race say that both anti-police bias and a genuine desire to hold officers accountable for their actions play a part in fueling the protests that have often followed these fatal incidents. Though whites are more skeptical than blacks about the demonstrators' motives, there is less agreement in which is the more important motivator. For whites, it is anti-police bias, 85% versus 63%, who see a sincere desire to promote accountability. For blacks, it's reverse. 79% of blacks cite accountability and 56% opposition to the police. The survey conducted August 16th, September, mind you, okay, 2016, right, 16 September 12, online and by mail among 4,538 United States adults. That's not even a drop in the barrel. Also found that about 8 in 10 blacks and a larger share of whites favor the use of body cameras by police to record encounters with citizens. And my statement, especially these foreigners who come over here with the goofy attitude, because we got a lot of melanated people running around, drugged out, this, that, and other, bling, 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 and they know they can fleece them. And then you have the ones on hardship, people who ain't drinking and doing drugs, some mentally. You've seen the ones that have been beaten and murdered because these dumb police don't have medical cards. They don't have medical background. Some of them are special forces hiding, hear acorn drop and shoot up the whole sky, the clouds, shooting at clouds. And then some are just still stuck with heavy doses of PTSD, lying to the psychiatrists who they get paid to get on the police force. And you see that they have anger issues. They can't even be in a relationship with a woman or a man. And a lot of these individuals today, sadly, are gay. Dead ass. And they've been in a bad relationship, and sometimes they see men who remind them, I've read the studies, remind them of a partner, and they deal with them in that way, not in the functionality of a professionalism. The survey was completed before a recent deadly encounter in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that left a black man dead and the white officer who shot him charged with manslaughter, as well as, y'all should remember that, a fatal shooting of a black man in Charlotte, North Carolina that sparked 2 nights of unrest in that city. Nobody really raised Cain, but if they did, it'd have been worse than that. Only about 1/3, 36% of the public says they have a lot of confidence in their police department. In addition, I've actually been around some good police officers. I'm fortunate. Not everybody is, there are people who travel interstate, right? And they're targeted by some of these dumb marsupials, these monkeys who wear a badge and a uniform. That's what they are. Reese's monkey jeans, all right? And they get out with their fat neck, either to see if you got money. They don't know the law. You don't have to step outside your damn car. They're willing to lie and say they smell something with the hope of catching something so that way they can go ahead and get some money. These people should not be allowed. And see, most of y'all, I have 2 books on black policing in America, the original, and has shows you pictures from Harlem to Oklahoma, yes, with these majority of these police departments were Negroes. Walking around with their little bobbies and, yes, stripped from history. We're not just talking about Bass Reeves and his 7 compadres, because that is 1 out of thousands. Because when they started bringing these knuckleheads here, these crooks and everything, they had to put them in position. They wanted to be mayors of these new western frontiers. And the corruption stands, and it's still there. The books exist. I will read a couple to you. I got to dig them out, okay? That's why I don't mind. I like fact checkers. I'll be like, y'all, they don't know nothing. But only about 1/3, 30% of the public say they have a lot of confidence. That's not good. In their police department. An additional 41% of Americans say they have some confidence in their community police department. Confidence, some. That's not good marginal line. In local police and is Confidence in local police is considerably lower among blacks. Just 14% of blacks say they have a lot of confidence in their local police, and 41% say they have some confidence by comparison. Now, the guy in the wheelchair is being pulled out by two African knuckleheads or Caribbean. It doesn't matter, okay? And the reality is, he's telling them, I'm paralyzed. Weiss, I'm his caregiver as well, needs his wheelchair. Well, we need you to step out. This is the phonetics of stop resisting. The body's automatic. If you study martial arts, no boxing, we trick box in Newark, New Jersey, right? Hit you and spin you and make you react and be right there to catch you. They don't really do that no more because that's kind of a one-up on people. But they know pain compliance is not compliance. It makes the body squirrel up and protect itself. It's second nature. Sometimes first nature if you're an abused individual. And amongst that, then they start hitting you with the taser. You might have a damn, a heart problem, one of them pacemakers or whatever. They don't care. And then at the end of the day, they say, you got the idiot that comes up with a few gold stripes. Well, at least you're going home today. That's the mentality of supposed to be the brave and fearful with these idiots who stand up there and on a mic. I'll go to the... Get the meth, get the drug dealers, get the violent criminals, stop messing with the people who ain't doing nothing because you didn't meet your quota or you didn't get enough fiat to meet your little six-figure salary or you just got up to a position where you're making over 40, 50,000 a year. Like, seriously? For the idiots watching who parlaying that. Okay? So anyway, when you look at the other comparisons, about 4 in 10 whites, 42%, say they have a lot of confidence in their local police, and another 39% say they have some confidence. And among Hispanics, 31% say they have a lot of confidence, and another 48% say they have some confidence. And we're not talking about millions of people here. We're talking about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. You got to remember, they run off a census, and the majority of us don't do no damn census. You get where I'm coming from? You know what I'm saying? Let me get this sour soap and some blueberries. Yeah, my apologies. I'll go to the next part. I need my magnesium. Ooh, God, I forgot to twist that. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That is delicioso. Anyway, I mean, there's some real stuff that's going on, all right? Wide racial gaps in views of police performance. Now, how they have a chart. Most give high marks to police for treating all citizens equally. These ignoramuses don't know what toilet paper they're using. And using the right amount of force. How would they know? They never had it applied to them. Protecting people from crime. So excellent would be dark green, okay? Good would be in the light green area. Only fair would be kind of like a light tan. And then a darker tan would be about poor. So, and protecting people from crime, we have the net at 72%. 22 say excellent. 50% say good. Fair, 18%. Poor, 8%. Using the right amount of force for each situation. Now, this is 67% in the net. So 19% say excellent, using the right amount of force. It's a bunch of idiots. Good would be about 48%, and then fair around 19, and poor at about 12. So treating racial and ethnic groups equally. So out of 65%, 20 say excellent. Those are the Karens and Kansas. Yeah, anyway, on both sides, all sides. 45% say good. 19, I would question that. 19% say fair, and 14% again poor. I think this is trumped up a little bit, but regardless of what I think is unimportant, let's look at what they have on the chart. Now, out of 63% net, holding officers accountable when misconduct occurs. Well, that dropped down compared to all others. You would think it'd be something else. Well, excellent is 18%. Poor, well, good, all right, is roughly around 45. All right. Only fair is 19, and then poor is 15. This is 2016. Now I guarantee you it's way different. You remember the guy with that sociopath with the AR and the guy's crawling because he was a fake rifle in the window or whatever, and somebody, yeah, one of them Karens, and they got him with shorts. He was in there with his girl. She crawled up, and he's crawling, he's crying, he's scared. And this guy said, "You move like that again, we're gonna pop up." The guy ain't got no guns. They don't have him turn around, lift his shirt. They ain't got nothing. He's crawling. This Arizona, I think, or Las Vegas, one of them places. He's crawling, and his pants start to come down. He pulls his pants, the guy bop, 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 lights him up. How about the idiot that was backing him? They get these long rifles now, and they run around like, "Oh, it's ready to go shoot somebody." That's not policing. That's some fake IDF bull crap, and you idiots allow it. He got his just desserts, and that's an ongoing problem. Look how they were doing the Mexicans over the border with them racists. They were murdering them out there. Some of them really coming here just to get away, get back to their sons and daughters born here, and they were out there murdering them, and some of them with the damn Border Patrol police. And you already know about that. I'm going to go into that. There's enough military guys talking about that. People who actually work there. Tobias worked with the Border Patrol, so, you know. Now, when it comes to some key aspects of the job, the police are rated more positively than negatively, but wide racial gaps persist, especially the mentally ill, man. They're just murdering them left and right. That's because you got a bunch of people, a bunch of them in costume are working with child trafficking and everything else. They are. Which cards come out that shows this, especially in Cali, D.C., New York, Texas. But while the racial gaps, Colorado, racial gaps persist. A majority of Americans say the police department in their community is doing an excellent or good job in protecting people from crime. 70%, 72%. Using the right amount of force for each situation, as we covered, 67. The right amount of force for each situation, 67, that's what it says. Treating racial and ethnic groups equally, 65%. You know that's... Anyway, and holding officers accountable when misconduct occurs, 63%. Now, again, this is going back to 2016, okay? Blacks are about half as likely as whites to have a positive view of police treatment of racial and ethnic groups or officers' use of force. I can tell you from two things on here. We can look at the torture houses in Chicago, Carolina, Georgia. We can look at the storefronts. We can see how the police have dealt with certain individuals who have drawn guns, who are light-skinned, and then they turn around and they deal with them like, "Well, you can't do that. We'll take you out to the witch card," compared to how they deal with melanated. You saw that one sister who that goofy cop went in there and murdered her because his girlfriend or whatever, and he was itching to do that. Remember? And she says Jesus, and she had put the pot down and he gunned it down. You have this institutionalization. The FBI likes it. The DOJ likes it. They like that. Who controls them, who pays them, puts them in the pocket, because they're supposed to be doing what the so-called American citizens want, not some foreign monkey, fake, you know who, Chazars and an NWHO, because they bought into walking around thinking they're from, you know, Battlestar Galactica or Star Force or something like that with their little funny, goofy costumes, because they're doing deep, dark stuff, and a lot of them get adrenochrome. You'd be surprised how many cops have went and got people on meth and then turned around using stuff and had to get Narcan put on them because they were just drug addicts. Right now, how many of y'all remember the crack epidemic? They had a place down there in Florida and off the islands where the cops would go deep undercover and be allowed to use the drugs and then go to these places supposed to get rehab, and it didn't always work out too well. How many of y'all remember that in the 80s and 90s? And that's supposed to be policing in America? Right now, they got France against America. We saved them, didn't we? They got Germany pushing towards against America, England, UK. This is the Zionist work, and Trump's playing a part in it too. Why? Because they need the death. They need the reset. And you got a bunch of idiots who come here who are sleeper cells. We ain't got no problem with them. We didn't go making war against these people. And they don't know who to deal with in the right perspective. You got a bunch of Arab countries, Dubai, this, that, and the other, while they back to bombing and murdering people in Gaza. They waited for them to come back based on what the fake-ass government did, weaponized, so they can go in there and bomb and murder more of them with foreigners on their land. Remember, they talking about, we're not sure, under review, we're not sure if we want to give you an ad, but they wanted to put ads for war to support Ukraine in my videos as if they asked me and they didn't. We have no contract. I'm not a goddamn citizen of some foreign occupation. It never have been and never will be. See, this is how, when I say they are stupid, I'm talking about beyond the scope of your understanding. Okay? I don't have to read no more of this. It just goes on and on and on. There's some worse stuff. I didn't want to do that because I don't want y'all to be out there against the police. There are some, and I can tell you, out of the millions, there are a lot of good ones. Okay? It's just, it is what it is. Sadly, we got some poor-ass sheriffs who should not be, but we got some solid sheriffs who are about ready to deputize their whole damn city. It's a fact. They're probably going to try and get them up out of there. You know what I mean? I've been having green tea again, so it's giving me a little, but you know, it's all good. No honey, no sugar. I can deal with blueberries and pineapple. But I just wanted to breach upon that because the foreigners, it's more about foreigners. I want to save, I've got a lot. I mean, a lot. I only read like 3, okay? I've got about 12, okay? And maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. Now I use half of them with Yandex and 2 with Brave and then the rest with Google to show you the disparity of what they're doing, trying to control the narrative, to hide things. When you put in how many police have been locked up, arrested, how many have charged, how many have them on their reports, you can pull that up, you know. And you can see some of the ones they try to hide. You got police officers who've had charges brought against them so many times, and then they allow them to leave and go to another state and join the police force and do the same thing over. Now, you can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that need to be looked at. The FBI ain't looking at them because it's just an act. They're not looking at those individuals. They're looking at you. They're looking at people who they shouldn't be because they were never put there to do that. Just like the CIA was supposed to be dealing with foreign stuff, but they've been over there disrupting, murdering people, just like they did here. Just like they said they unleashed the Kennedy papers. That shows you them frauds, the Zionists, are the ones that pretty much killed Kennedy. And him being an Irish Chazar. You get what I'm saying? An Ashkenaz bloodline. And people have a hard time when it comes to this because it's irrelevant. People get a conscience. And if you got people willing to go ahead because of the conscience and morals and murder them, what are you dealing with when it comes to a government that wants to hide it? Wait for majority of people to be dead. Huh? What kind of disease is that by the people, for the people, and of the people? And yet y'all talking about where tyranny arises? Well, what are you dealing with? You got a handful of knuckleheads running around inserting themselves with a couple of sold out individuals, right? Who've been trained and they think they are hiding. Can nobody hide around me? I allow things. All right? Because like I said, I'm not going to change my position because I told y'all I've seen it so many times. I used to get headaches, not able to sleep, go out there and do some weird shit because I got tired of seeing it. And when I say I know how it ends, I solidified. It's almost as if I got a pat on my shoulder when I accepted it. I was like, oh shit. Was I supposed to be all right with what I was saying in my dream? Hell no. But then I saw me and I'm like, whose eyes am I looking through? And I'm watching these people look up and look over. And I can't explain it. I have a story to tell. And for whatever purpose, can't change it. I can be gone tomorrow. It only puts me in my position to look at those already there or they to look at. I don't know. I don't care to know. I just know what I know. It's not going to change anything. I've seen that. I attempted. One of my dreams about 2 months or 3 months ago, I was in here. I was having a hard time sleeping. My back was hurting. I was like, cortisol's high. It's in my kidneys. It's because I had too much sugar. What is it, right? My prostate enlarged. Oh, it's natural. I was like, pfft. So I finally went to sleep. And I did one of those Doctor Strange goofy things. I didn't do all the goofy retarded with a green. Anyway, I attempted to see before and after. Well, there is no tomorrow. It is only yesterday and today. There is no tomorrow. Stop thinking, see, that's how they're moving. That's where they screw up at. And in doing that, I was able to grab me standing there. When that happened and I turned around and looked at me, it wasn't so much my face as you see it. It was like looking at a beautiful lake. The sun's just hitting it just right, and there's a little light wave, and there's a dark and an overshadow. And I knew it was me. And I remember me saying to me, and I woke back up. Did I just tell me to get the f out of my dream of something? And I was like, wait a minute, I don't mind saying it. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I remember going outside. Like I had to go pee. So I just went outside. It was cold. I was holding my head. I was like, oh, that grabbed me. Then I looked at me. Was that me? Who was that? Then I didn't have the dream for 3 days, 3 nights. Then I had it, and it hit me. And that's when I saw 2 when I was in front of those buildings. And then all these faces. Tormented. Tormented bad. Looking at certain individuals. No hiding, no nothing. And then things I can't even, I don't even know how to, it's just, it is what it is. Just things, just whatever, right? I'm not into the character because of being an artist and painting a picture. It's just what it's supposed to be. And there's so much more to it. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah. So I hope that was cool information. I hope I was respectful enough. I didn't want to bash anybody because, as y'all know, I know some good guys. I know good guys, and I don't want y'all to go out there and targeting and challenging. You know when you're going to run again. Young Cherokee, what's up, beloved? Appreciate the donation. I think I got you, Dave Mathis. I got you the other day, right? But no, I tell them, when you bless me, they still put a red dot by yours. I'm like, why? But anyway, that's what they do, the Hindus or whatever. Anyway, no, nothing against my Hindu brothers and sisters, okay? I appreciate you all, man. It's just that there are some things that shouldn't be happening, and there's those who out there who are bad. They don't get it. And those are the very people that go to war and take their lives because they, all the fun and game is gone. And it's terrible. It's sad. It really is. Don't think I don't glamorize none of this. The headaches I've had, the things that I've seen in the dreams over and over and over. I'm not suicidal, but I remember a time when I was like, oh, just let me get there then. Just let me go, man. Want to poison me? Let them go ahead, man. Come on. Do what you got to do, man. Let me get there. So we can embark on this cruise. And I actually was comfortable saying it. I say I'm like the story of Jonah. I am stubborn. Nineveh, whatever, by the narrative of their little false painted directum, be angered with God, with self, right? Yeah. Seriously. And I don't want nobody to believe or know or not know. I don't care. You get to a point when there's so much stuff. I look at my 6 years of getting beaten half to death, and I look at the salvation of my grandmommy, my great-grandparents, and my great-great, and I sit there going, okay, something's got to give, right? No molestation, no this. Now I don't have those perversions, dude. Now you give me a woman, I freak in the shade, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, right? Hell, couple. But anyway, The thing is, I'm very level. I'm very solid, and in this reality, I can't stand a weak mind. A weak mind will always tell on itself. It will. And there are those who can be made to say things that they shouldn't, that aren't even true. That's the perversion of their existence right now. Ergo, it keeps up the same cycle because individuals choose not to free themselves because they see things no other sees or anyone else does. And then they think it's legitimate. It's legitimate, it's legitimized by that disfigurement of the brain, that dysfunctioning quality, that overly well misrepresented part. But anyway, shut you guys off. I'm gonna get off of here and see what I got to do. We're a little over an hour. Again, I appreciate that, young Cherokee. Appreciate it. Who else came up in here? I'm trying to see, guys. I didn't want to get it all. I didn't want y'all to get heated and to get, I'm not here for that. But some things need to be looked at. But with the intelligent beings in existence that you are, I'm not here to attempt to make something out of nothing. And I don't want to do that, but to facilitate how y'all react to these things. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, I got bit by something. A lot of people will react. And then they'll say a whole lot of stuff and they will never carry it out. And that can get you in a lot of stank. You understand? Because be careful of that. Okay? Let me see. I'm trying to see. Hey, what's going on, Shot City? What's going on? Salute, salutations. I got Dev, Omac. Yeah. Got Sharon. Appreciate you too. You know what I'm saying? Max V, what's going on, beloved? Yeah, what's happening, Beniji? What's happening? What's happening? 7 grams was cracking, beloved. What's happening? What's happening, man? What's going on, baby girl? I got you already, right? Yeah. Got all the musicians, all the music. Yeah, we're gonna build a studio, man. I might be on that top floor. Build a studio on the first part, so we can start getting things in there, some seats and desks and stuff like that. It's gonna be about almost 3/4 with a stair that goes up to the patio. That's how I envision it, and it could be a nice little studio for music, you know what I mean? But MIL, Benz and Band-Aids, Homestead, Philly in the house. What's going on, beloved? Big Pontiac, what's going on? What's going on, beloved? I can't make this up, but no. Hey, Snoop, there's my baby girl. I know you hard at work, mama. What's going on, baby? I had a dream this AM. Esther Rose was child trafficking my child. We went for an interview. Oh, got locked in this game. I know you were throwing that dirty jerseys on them. I have many dreams of escaping human trafficking. Wow. Even from monsters. You know where you're supposed to be at, mama. Hey, Lucy Rose. What's going on, beloved? How you doing? You're multitasking. Hey, we're all multitasking. That's what's up, mama. You multitask. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to sign off of here. You know my Cashapp. I know nobody put it in there. Last thing they thinking of is me as long as I'm giving. I don't mind giving. I did a little live. I downloaded on Facebook. And I was going to talk about it on here because I think it's good. We're all benefiters of the feel-good story. And I might upload it over here. And it's not just the feel-good. It's a little more about myself in a way that's indicative to the truth of my existence compared to the things that you've heard and watched my old videos. I'm rabble-rousing and I'm more settled than that. I like to mess with everybody. 3 years of stand-up comedy. I'm well protected and protecting myself. It's to a degree. I'm not a revisionist, per se, but vision is important. That's all I will say to that. And I might upload it, all right? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, hon. That's my bit. Hey, y'all, that's my old lady right there. Y'all be careful, right? I'm serious. That's my old lady, y'all. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. You know how it is. I got to crawl up under that thing today, so I need to get to Benson, get back where it's nice and warm. Tomorrow's supposed to be in 70s and the night 50s, so my back is still scratchy, itchy, a little feeling from being poked by all those little... You saw me, man. Oh, man. It's not knowing it. It's just... I felt like Jesus Christ getting up under that damn... To my religious Christians, I'm sorry, but I just had to say it that way. It's the only way I can think to put it. I mean, come on now. I was up under there doing the drawing and... Wait a minute. Oh, and I'm sitting there saying, oh, there's Black Widows up here. Oh. Well, I was able to do the backwards worm. You know how we doing breakdancing, we doing it. I'm doing back, getting from up under there. I'm pulling up, I'm lifting power, I'm getting from up under there, like, and my back's just doing it. I'm you know what I'm saying? And stuff still flying off now. Anyway, y'all know what I mean. I'll see you guys when we get back, all right? Do a little read. We're going to get that stuff knocked out today, get things put in. Like I said, I had to send some people some money yesterday. I told them they got to pay that back. There's quite a bit I had to send out. So, yeah, I'm like that. Anyway, I'll see if... let me make sure I got the video in whole that I did live on Facebook. They're always trying to hide me. That's funny. If they were smart, they would stop. But anyway... I'm grateful that they're not. I will see you guys later. All right. Again, beloved sisters, brothers, catch you guys later.